Hello everybody, Travis here for Tpull's Corner, and we are playing Brawl. And Delighted Halfling helps us to ramp. Who are we up against? Teza Karlov. Tokens get Vigilance and Lifelink, eh? That's fine. I get a Crystalline Giant. And Crystalline Giant gets a different kind of ability counter every turn, so the biggest thing I need is hexproof. What do we want to do against that? Start with this. Can't summon it down so it gives me energy. Can't summon it down so it gives me energy. And then finally, I can pay the 2 energy. What do we got? Trample and Reach. That's good. Can't stop that. You're tapped out. What are you going to do? Chump block? It's too early for that. Life is good. They got us. We lost a life. Land, and more land. Let's see. We whiffed. That didn't work. What do we got now? Ooh, Trample, Reach, and First Strike. That's wonderful. They're not blocking anything. Alright, Commander's out. Have they given us enough land? Okay. She's got 4, so they can kill any one of us. And the Afterlife gives it a flyer. I've got Reach there. I'm okay with sending in 1. That's basically what we expected. Oh, how did they get 2 of them? Let's see. Oh, triggers an additional time. I forgot about that. Whenever something dies, ability triggers an additional time. So there's going to be a pattern there. That's a lot of energy to spend on a 1/4. Ah! I was hoping they didn't have a 1 cost. Alright. We bring down the land, we bring down Altenac. They haven't missed a land drop either. That's nice. We have Trample, so it doesn't really matter too much about chump blocking. And so they don't. Alright. Do you have removal? No, but that's a lot of life I'm going to lose. think we need non-land. What do you think? Ooh, good. Get rid of that enchantment. That's perfect. Sure. You come down. And we just keep the bears to double block anybody we need to, and we can still go on the rampage here. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if they blocked with everybody, they could kill this. But they don't know we have giant growth. Do you take the full 9 again? They take the full 9. Ouch. Which means, really, if they can't stop Altanek next turn, they're toast. They kept up with us on the land draw, even though we kind of had a little bit of ramp with the Delighted Half. They're just coming through with a couple of lifelink gains. What's this final card in their hand, I wonder? That was a lot of time to do nothing. Okay. Yeah, let's do it this way. We attack with you and one of you. This one. Altanek is alive. Everybody else pretty much is dead. That is a lot of treasure, though. Okay, if they have one good spell, they can do pretty much anything they want. And yet another land. Teza comes down. What's left? Well, now we just have to attack with everything, right? That's not enough to stop lethal. You need to prevent at least 3 points of damage or have some lifelink coming on. Nope, same, doesn't matter. We have trample. Nothing matters. I don't even need to use my final spell. Ta-da! Life is good. Alright, the reason I chose this deck was because we had Midweek Magic recently, and we had a choice on what to do, just in terms of which commander. But I only had a couple of commanders from which to choose, and my choices weren't the greatest, right? Because we have Altanek here, and Altanek is not the one you would normally think about going ahead and having a battle, because, let's see, do they give you the other cards? No, there's another spell in the new Duskmourn expansion that allows you to call out Altanek, but you need 3 copies of it. You need two copies already in the graveyard or something, and then you cast the third one. It only costs 2, but then you can bring it out. So since we're playing Brawl, you can only have 1 copy of the spell. So there's no way to use the card combo that came with the expansion. So you wouldn't normally think of using Altanek, but you know, I only had two of the two of the creatures from which to choose my commander out of the list of possible commanders. So this is what I did. I don't have a name for it yet. I'll come up with it sooner or later. But here's the thing. A lot of people stay away from Brawl because you need 100 cards. You can only have one of each, so it takes a lot of thought. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of thinking about the different synergies that you have with the cards. Unless you're in a rush. So you notice I have a lot of 1-drops. So that's the secret. Okay, if you're in a rush, this is a quick way to go ahead and make a Brawl deck. If you don't have like an hour, you know, or even 30 minutes to decide what to do, just go ahead and choose all the 1-drops to begin with. Okay, then you go in and flesh it out. Here's what we end up with. We have an even 40 lands. We have 12 instants and 13 sorceries. We got 25 creatures. And our mana average is 1.6, so it's a really cheap deck. You see, my mana curve is a little bit off, but my commander is really expensive. I don't really have a way to trick him out, so we're just waiting until the game goes long enough that I can full cast him for 7. But by then you have a 9/9 Trampler on the board, and you saw, if your opponent doesn't have an answer for it, that alone can win you the game. In the meantime, you take all of these other things, and some of it's ramp, some of it's, you know, death touch creatures, 1/1 death touch, that type of thing. And then I filled out the rest with just a handful of more expensive cards. So about a dozen or so. So let me go through the ones that are expensive, right? Bristly Bill, Spine Sower, very expensive at 2. When you play on any target creature, and for 5 you can double the number of +1 counters on each creature you control. To Planeswalkers, we have Sir Ginger the Millender. There's 3 hexproof and haste as long as your opponent controls a Planeswalker. We're ignoring the next part. Whenever another artifact you control is put into the graveyard. We don't have a ton of artifacts, but we can sacrifice Sir Ginger and gain life equal to its power. And that can be at an instant kind of charge, not sorcery. So if he's untapped and you got 2 open, you can sacrifice it and get rid of it. Okay, we have Carnivorous Canopy. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. If that permanence value is 3 or less, you can proliferate. So you can see we've already got synergy with the fact of we might get counters, and we can proliferate and increase the counters with just 1 card. Shower of Arrows is another one to destroy artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying, and it allows us to scry. Garruk's Harbinger is in there because I have hexproof from black, which is kind of nice. Tandem Takedown. Up to 2 target creatures you control each get +1. Then they each deal damage of the power to another target, creature, planeswalker, or battle. So yet another way to deal with planeswalkers. Crystalline Giant, one of my favorite cards. At your turn, you choose a counter that Crystalline Giant does. These are your choices. First Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, Vigilance, and a +1/+1 counter. You don't get to choose. When it says choose, it's choose a kind of counter at random. You almost always are praying for Hexproof. They didn't give you the choice of Indestructible on this, so Hexproof is really one of the best ones. They don't give you haste. You notice that there's some problems with giving it haste in that sense. They want to give you abilities that last, not just something that's going to be good for the 1 turn it comes in. If they give you haste as a choice and you don't get it the first time it enters, then getting haste later is completely useless. So they try to give you the choices among the evergreen terms that are useful for this. We have 2 swords. Sword of Forge and Frontier give us +2/+2 and protection from red and green, and Sword of Once and Future to give us protection from blue and black, and they each have additional extra stuff if you manage to hit your opponent. Elder Gargaroth. This is a bomb of a card. For only 5 mana, we get a 6/6 that has Reach, Vigilance, and Trample. One of 3 choices here. We can create a 3/3 beast creature token when it attacks or blocks, or we can gain 3 life, or we can draw a card. Next, we have our own Planeswalker, Vivian Monster's Advocate. You can look at the top card of your library anytime, and you can cast creature spells from the top of your library. That's a very nice ramp when that comes into play. You can +1 and add a 3/3 green beast creature token. You get, again, your choice of 3 different things you can put on it. Vigilance, Reach, or Trample. So if we get this out, we shouldn't have to worry about flyers that much. Or for -2, when you next cast a creature, you can search your library for a creature card with lesser mana value, put it into the battlefield, and shuffle. I don't think we'll use the -2 because we don't have a lot of choices for anything. we cast, what, a big creature and go get a 1-drop? I don't think so. We have one battle, Invasion of Ravnica. When it enters exile target non-land, -5/-5 for a creature removal. And finally, Avalbrook Caretaker. This is a nice little 6-mana bomb, 4/4, hexproof. Turns into a werewolf. If it's daytime, you put 2 counters on another target creature control. If it's nighttime, other permanents have hexproof, and you get 2 +1 counters on every creature you control. So that's kind of a fun card. I don't know that I should go through every single other card in here, but the deck list is published below. And there wasn't a lot of thinking that went into this. I went in, I opened green, I chose my commander, I said CMC equals 1, and I selected all of the 1-drops. I just sort of went through a couple of test rounds, and if a card came up that I would go ahead and take it out and go and put in something more powerful. And you just dial up your power yield until you get to a deck that you're comfortable with. And you see here we got like what's my grand total? Like 14, I think. Let's see, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 14 cards out of the entire 100 card deck that cost more than 1. It's not bad. Let's go in. Let's see if we can do this again. And by the time I go to publish this, I'll have come up with a name. But this was literally, I came in, like most of the Tuesday Midweek Magic thing was gone. The timer was running down. I had 2 choices of creatures I could get. I chose Altenac. I went in and just chose a bunch of 1-drops. Just in a row. Bam, 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 bam. And you know what? It's good enough. I'm telling you. So for those of you that it said, no, it takes too long, I lose interest, or I just don't have enough time in the day, just start it that way. Just try it. And this is good in a way in the sense that you're always going to have something to do for the most part. As the game gets along, the more land that you have, the odds are still that you're just going to draw 1 mana each turn for the most part. Let's see. Get to conjure an Ornithopter? That's gross. That's all the time? Alright. And that's all the time. That's a lot of value for these early cards. Let's get rid of this one. Land. I'll take the land. We will attack too. They're tapped out. That's an alchemy card, no wonder. That's a disgusting amount of value for a 2-drop. Hexproof and haste. Alright. I think... Let's see. I can do this. And we don't take down the flyer. We take down this disgusting creature. That basically gives you a 2/2 every single turn for only 2 mana. That is, even for an alchemy card, that's great. Look how quickly they give up. I didn't even look at their commander. Scarab God. They just get it to return to their owner's hand instead of having to pay the cost. Having it add to the mana value each time. Alright, that's 2 in a row. Let's count down until we get land starved. That did happen. I have 40 lands in the deck, and yeah, I still got a match while I was doing the event where I had the 2 lands in my opening hand, and it didn't give me any more for the entire match. Uh-oh, this is trouble. Go Shintai of Life's Origin. I don't even have this card, but I am a big fan of Shrine decks. If you type in Shrine on the playlist, I have an extensive list of games using Shrine decks. It is among my favorite of things to do. We're getting rid of the treasure already. Or the food that we use as mana anyway. We get flying. If they can't get rid of this, this is going to turn into a one-man army real quick. We're going to bring down the sword. We get hexproof. Bingo! We don't need to attack with the geese. The goose is 0. Okay, they've got 5-color deck. We have a chance, but we have to win quickly. All right, they get a 1/1. Okay, we've already got flying, so we can go over their head. Sword of Once and Future. We're now 5/5. We've got protection from blue and black. What next? Vigilance. Perfect. And we can scry. That's probably good. I don't mind having one more land too. Discards a card. That's at the beginning of your upkeep, though, which is them, not us. So we still get our next card. And there's a reason. I'm going up against Shrines, and I really like getting this card. We're not going to get rid of Go Shintai. They need 5 to return it. That's an instant. I can add that on any time. That gives me reach. Reach is kind of useless at this point once I already have flying. Not the best thing I could have gotten, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to take the lands. Because this will just let me hardcast Altenek. If they get rid of the giant, then I get a 9/9 Trampler. They're going to get rid of the goose. You have the almighty brush rag and you get rid of the goose? What's wrong with you people? Do they have another way to get rid of the brush rag? Okay, trample. So even if they get a flyer now, they're going to be in trouble. And Bray the Wilds. No, I don't need that now. Get rid of that one. I'm not going to bargain it. I'm just going to cast it and go get a regular land. In the turn, we can now make that +3/+3. They got a 2-turn clock. They're not getting any life gain. This makes me discard a card at their turn, which is why I'm keeping one of the lands. Altenek comes down. And we get Death Touch. Would have preferred Lifelink. And I don't need the lands now. We'll get rid of the forests. And we get rid of... Oh, wait. Oh, that's per each shrine. I forgot. So they technically have, what, 5 shrines? So I was not gonna have anything. And it's just yet another land. I got a bunch of useless draws that last 3 turns, didn't I? The last 3 draws. They still have nothing to get rid of the Crystalline Giant. I can take all that damage and it just doesn't matter. And yet another card draw that's land. What was that, like 5 in a row of land? Arena tried to fix the game too late. That's 3 in a row. Off of a deck I made by, at first, choosing 61 drops. And this is a nice way to fine-tune a deck where maybe you don't have a theme and you just throw the kitchen sink at it. And you're just looking to take out the 1-drops that don't fit in with the theme that have no synergy. Like, oh, this one's an artifact synergy, but I have no artifacts in my deck, so I guess I'm not using that one. Let's see. I can reveal a creature or land card. What do I want most? I actually want the land. Well, I didn't have a choice there. Never mind. We'll go bump them and say hello. Got you for 0. Oh, they got a planeswalker? We're done there. Perfect. We have enough to cast Alphanak in our hand.
So long as I draw breath, hope.
They tapped out for that. Get a food token. And what do we want? I think we want a beast. Do they save the planeswalker? Or do they chump block somebody? We have trample, so they decided not to. Feel good about that.
But I believe you can win.
Well, that's disturbing. What? How about a 13-13? Autopay. I'm broke, but they're taking it. Don't need the land. Aw. I need the land now. Hey, look, it's land. What is up with all these board wipes? Yeah, we'll do this. No tax. Yeah, we'll add a counter to that. Ooh. That's going to work nicely with the Jungle Delver. Delver already has counters on him, and he can add counters. Planeswalker again.
We can save
Pesky.
everyone. This is our fight to win.
I don't have trample now. It's a problem. What are they doing? Do you have a combat trick? That's fine. Be tapped. Here. can't. Let's see. As long as that's attacking, I need to pay 1. So I need to use High Stride against them.
Ready arms.
Uh-oh. They can put that on an Angel, and then they can't lose the game. That can be a problem. Except I have Flaxen Intruder. They're not attacking. Oh, this is so awesome. Oh, this is so awesome. Okay, so. That's food. That's not a treasure. I'm 1 short of being able to cast Altanek. I can go to 6 there, but then I wouldn't be able to attack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. No. None of it's quite working out, is it? Auto pay for 4. If they want to save the Planeswalker again, they're going to have to block with some stuff. 1, 2, 3. Not enough to kill that thing. I need 1 more land. Oh no. Don't put it on your Angel. Oh, thank you. Whew.
This is our fight to win.
That's another flyer, though. That's problematic. Bingo. Okay. We like it. That works out perfect. They're chopped out. Oh no, wait, where's... This is an instant. Oh, it doesn't untap. That one untaps. Why can't I... That's protection from blue and black. Target creature that's for only 1. Why can't I cast the instant? Why can't I cast the instant?
You will shine bright, hero.
Well, I guess we can block 1 flyer. Wait a second. Oh, I can't block anything. I don't have enough mana to pay for it. Wow, I just did everything wrong, didn't I? Does that attack or block? They can't attack you. Okay. Oh, I forgot about the Grand Abolisher this whole time. Opponents can't cast spells or activate. That's why. Well, they had a pretty good thing going on, didn't they? Okay, I can't even block everything. I am not used to going up against the Grand Abolisher. Isn't that interesting, though, that I had advantages twice and they had 2 board wipes, and then once they got their pieces into play to shut me down, they didn't get any more board wipes. But out of a 100-card deck, they gave them the 2 board wipes they needed to clear the deck each time. What a coincidence. I didn't get any of my other stuff to take out flyers. Abolisher. I've faced the Abolisher maybe twice in my life. Alright, Lord of the Rings card, Saruman of many colors. I'm going to try and take and use my spells against me. I wonder if I can bring this down and tap it real quick. If I use the control feature. Yeah, I think I can. So... okay, so if we do this... bring you down. We let that resolve. Then... green, we tap that. Let it resolve. Now I don't need full control. Now I just pay the green to bring that down. I get the 2 energy. And poof, got a 3/4 out on turn 2. Life is good. And look, they're both 1-drops. They're from different expansions too. You just find neat little synergies among the cards. They got the 3 colors they need already. And me without any demolition fields. Okay, I can untap that. That's going to come in handy. We attack with the 3/4, of course, because they're tapped out, so they got to take it. I don't know why they had to think so long about that. Now, if they fall into a false sense of security, they'll fly an attack, and we can get rid of it with Gift of the Viper. They're looking at my cards like they have removal. No? Okay, Arcane Signet's a good card for any commander deck. Let's see what they throw away. That's good. They managed to cast 2 spells in a single turn already. Field of Ruin. Okay, that's probably a safe card to get away. And yet a 3rd card. 3 spells on turn 3. Very nice. Are they still going to attack? They still didn't... they must have been in love with all the spells they had. They didn't get a +1 counter on Ledger when they connived. And they're not attacking. Well, fine. We ramped a little bit past them. Still thinking about whether to chump block or not. Are they going to mill me or themselves? They mill me. Okay, lost a couple of 1-drops. That's not really a big problem. We've got a lot more 1-drops where those came from. Do you attack? You still do not attack. We have a giant growth I'm willing to burn. Don't have 8. Let's speed up the clock, shall we? Giant growth. They return the spell. I can cast it again. Exile non-land permanent. Okay. They lost 3 life. They finally got rid of something. Sweet. Are they going to do Bind to Secrecy? No, they're going to do Brainstorm again. Okay, that makes sense. That's a lot of cheap spells, isn't it? But they have exactly the colors they need to do everything they want. That's a nice, impressive deck already. I like the way they put that together. Okay, so we get rid of Brainstorm, finally. If your library has more cards in it than opponent's library, otherwise each opponent mills 5 cards, so I'm going to mill 5? Oh, man. Out of all the 1-drops, and look what I just lost. That's disgusting. Should be able to block. Let's get him into the habit of blocking. Yes, yes, go ahead. Okay. Go to the archive. We gotta wait for them to choose. They have to discard something, right? They discard Putrefy. Oh, so they're straight out a milk kind of strategy. Get there, tapped out. Okay, resolve all of that stuff. Flax and Intruder would have been useful. Attack. Take the damage, please. No. Can't believe they fell for it. The defender is gone. We bargain. Oh no, we collect evidence. Sorry. Let's, in case they have something to get rid of things from our graveyard. Make sure they can't get stuff from our graveyard. And then I want Crystalline Giant. It's a lot of land. Ah! How dare you? Another source of mill. A couple of removal cards. Okay. Can they bring down Saruman now? They can, right? Sir Conrad the Grim. It's very strange to be playing a commander deck where they have a mill strategy. When I'm playing Brawl, I don't come across many mill decks. I just really don't. We keep Chainweb Arachnir in reserve. We wait and see if they manage to kill Altenac. Oh, I'm glad we got rid of our hexproof creature. What kind of thing do they have? Oh, they've got Ancient One. That's a convenient little mill right there. Are they going to get my Arachnir? So I can't get it? They could get, yeah, they could get that for the Planeswalker. Am I going to lose because it's my own deck?
A new mutation.
They're using my stuff against me? And how about that? They just happen to have Breach the Multiverse, and they just happen to get just the cards they wanted. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't attack now. What do I get rid of? Any other creatures, right? Might as well see that. They lost a lot of good stuff. Into the Story's awesome. Ashek's awesome. Tasha City's Laughter is awesome. That's kind of gross. We can block with Chainweb, but I don't have a way to break through now.
Diversity is our greatest strength.
I'm basically counting on them to mill themselves out with their own device. Oh man. Using my cards against me again. I feel good about having my 9/9 blocker out. Okay, what do I get rid of here? $25 to $37. I think. They got just a bunch of banger cards that they're losing. Counter spells, Tasha, a little bit of Maddening Cacophony, some really classic. Hey! Let's put that in my hand. I'm in trouble.
I'd like you to meet my friend, Stompy.
They just got the perfect cards each and every time. But I actually like that deck. The name of my opponent is Gremlins Are Evil. We're going up against a Johnny. And they found a way to gain life each time already. Usually the cheap white life gain decks are very difficult to deal with. We don't have any protection from white. And the wall definitely slows us down on the clock. Net effect, 0 change. They already have a disenchant, so my advantage is gone. Let's get rid of the wall first. Oh, 4 lands. Interesting choices there. Alright, 24 more turns and we got him. Opponent doesn't need to ramp, they're just making their land drop every time. Get their Planeswalker on curve.
Do not have to fight alone. Look how far you have come.
Did not get a land. I think you just go after their Planeswalker. We get a 3/3. Okay, if they get to 7, they get the emblem. They don't have what they needed, so they're digging. Good. Just one land is all I need.
Deliver us to victory.
Interesting. Return non-creature, non-land permanent card. I think we take out the flyer. We get to proliferate the incubation sac. Oh! They don't want to have anything else to do with this. Still at 25. Still going to be able to get their Planeswalker out again before us. Alright, I think that's enough Brawl battles. I will come up with a name for that. Alright, so, quick way to tutor you on making a Brawl deck if you got 0 time. Just choose all the 1-drops. Then run through a couple of test battles. Whatever cards that are coming up that you don't like, you take those out, you go look for something more powerful. And you don't go crazy on the curve, but you just need between 12 to 15 really good cards. That'll give you good odds of drawing some good things. And you notice what we got was answers, right? We got landfall, so there's value every time. Little counter synergy, which green is great with. Got an answer to planeswalkers. Got a couple of answers to artifacts, enchantments, and creatures with flying. Protection from black. A little bit of interaction. A little bit of more protection type stuff. Protection from red and green. Protection from blue and black. Hexproof. More protection. And then just really banger value with these types of things. So you notice I also went heavy into the artifacts for half of the cards for things that I was looking for the most value. So definitely think of supplementing everything with artifacts. But if we go into, you can see as you go through the list, literally I'm just at the 1-drops and I'm just taking everything. Here's what did I take out? I took out Attune with Aether. Search for a basic land card, and then you get 2 energy. Didn't have much energy things in this deck, just had 1. Blizzard Brawl took out, I don't have snow lands, so I didn't need that. Cenote Scout, a 1/1 for Explore. Not good enough. I already have a ton of 1-drops in there, so that was one of the ones I took out. Confront the Unknown. Investigate. Creature gets +1. Getting 1 was not going to be good enough. Edgewall Innkeeper, I didn't have many cards with Adventure. I don't think I had any cards with Adventure in this deck, so I took that out. What else did we take out? We took out Gaia's Might, because we didn't have different basic land types. We only had 1 forest, so that didn't work. And we weren't too big on enchantment, so Generous Visitor was going to be limited, so I took him out. Groundskeeper, return basic land card from your graveyard. Didn't have a need to do that. Hedge Whisper, collecting evidence. Nah. Instrument of the Bards, didn't see need for that. Regenerate Kintry Warden, wasn't interested in doing that. And Life Goes On was too situational. You can build decks around this card. It's not a terrible card, but very limited. And then I didn't have much in the way of dinosaurs, so I took out the Lore Keeper and just Spare Sentinel. Again, I already had enough reach, already had enough ramp, you know, that type of thing. And so on and so forth. And then I think we're running out of... this was up until the end of my 40 cards for 1-drops. And after that, there's so many 1-drops. I didn't even go through the list looking at the best 1-drops. I just took the first 40 1-drops and then I filtered out from there. And then I added in the good stuff. And you saw we did better than a 50% win ratio. So, you know, if you haven't done Brawl before, go ahead and do this. Pick a commander. Doesn't matter which one. You know, choose a bunch of 1-drops. Just make a mono color. Choose a bunch of 1-drops. Choose about, 25, 30 1-drops. And then go in, pick some good monocolor cards and some artifacts that you think will fill out the deck. And then just test it a couple times. And if there's a 1-drop that you thought would be good, but just doesn't really seem to fit in with the rest of what your deck's doing, yank it out, put something more powerful in. Find a 2, 3, or 4-drop and put it in its place. It's that simple. You get a nice deck. You didn't spend a lot of time on it, but it performs really well, and you'll end up finding like hidden synergies, like I did with those earlier cards. Where's the energy one? As we go through, I don't know if I did this yet, so before I forget, I'm going to thank my patron, Cedric. And I'm also going to remind you to like and subscribe. And especially leave a comment if you like this Brawl stuff and you don't see enough of it. I don't usually do a lot of Brawl on the channel. I do play Brawl from time to time. I like Brawl, but I don't make a lot of videos about it. But this one was just really easy in terms of, you know, little hacks that I've learned when I don't have a lot of time, but are still effective that I can do. So if you're interested in seeing more Brawls with maybe a little bit more thought and planning into them to hopefully make them a little bit even better effective than what this is, then let me know, and I'll definitely take your comments into consideration in terms of showing more Brawl videos in the future. Where is... I was just thinking of the energy one with the one that untaps, and it's just because I'm dealing with 100 cards and I haven't dealt with those particular ones in a while. I forgot what their specific names was. But yeah, just doing the untap with the energy summoning creature. I can't see it now, but I hadn't planned on that. But I discovered it. You just look at the cards in your hand and you figure out how you can make them interact and figure out the best thing to do for each turn. So it's a lot of fun ways to go with deck construction and just do some things at random from time to time and experiment and just see. You know, we're choosing. Since we're in Brawl, we've got a lot of extra cards other than Modern Standard from which to choose. So some cards that maybe you don't have much experience with, and you get a chance to look at things and say, oh, you know what? This chocolate goes with this peanut butter, and it turns out to be pretty good, especially in the early game. And I didn't know that ahead of time. So I like to do Brawl sometimes and just pick some cards at random and mash them together. And every once in a while I learned about a neat little thing that you can do, and it's like, hey, I never would have normally come across that. But here, just entirely accidentally, because those two cards happen to be in my hand, I find something neat you can do with them. So it's a neat way to explore the range of cards available to us. So with that, as always, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll have something new for you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.